Our movie for this week is a true celebration of Blaxploitation culture. It's a little known film from 1974 called Solomon King. It was also known as Black Agent Lucky King. I'm not sure if that was up on a re-release or what, but in doing research, I found that it was also known as that by that title as well. But the reason this is a true celebration of Blaxploitation culture is because this is an independent film that the main character is a gentleman named Sal Watts, and Sal he wrote, produced, and directed as well as starred in this. So this is a true celebration and spirit of the independent hustle. Like a lot of people, when we talk about the Blaxploitation era, some people say it was black actors and black culture being exploited by white people and making black actors look bad and things like that. I don't consider it that way. A lot of the Blaxploitation films were produced by people of their own, Rudy Ray Moore, Jamal Fanaka, and several others. Fred Williamson opened his own production company. So Blaxploitation, there was a lot of black folk who made money, did things that should be celebrated in the genre, and this is definitely one of them. Now, granted, the movie in there subpar because he used non-professional actors, but just the fact, again, the grind that went into him putting up his money and producing, writing, and directing this. So I think this is an awesome film. And just for that reason alone, I love this film, Solomon King. It was considered lost for many, many years. It was just recently restored by a company called Deaf Crocodile Films. Shout out to those guys for restoring a print that they received or that they were able to get from UCLA Film and TV Archive. And then shout out to, I know it's out there on YouTube as well, but shout out to Tubi for making this free as well, because I saw it on YouTube maybe about several months ago, and then recently saw it again on Tubi. So shout out to both for making it available for people to find this little known gem. Now, what it's about is Solomon King is an ex-CIA agent who seeks revenge after his girlfriend, a princess of this unnamed Middle Eastern country, is killed. So who do you have in this movie? Well, like I said, you got this guy right here, Sal Watts. He wrote, produced, directed, and starred in the film. So he plays Solomon King. And when I look at Sal, man, when you look at him, he looks like he could be Derville Martin's brother. Like, he looks so much like Derville Martin to me. Also in the movie was a gentleman by the name of, Scott's name is Little Jamie Watts. Now, when you look at him, he's nowhere little at all. He's Sal's real life brother. And in the movie, he plays Solomon King's brother, Manny King. So that was the main two characters that we really were, who kind of carried the movie. Now, all the other people, like I said, were non-professional actors, probably really wouldn't know them. But there were two people in there that you would maybe know. And the first one is Tanya Boyd, the lovely Tanya Boyd, who did two other Blaxploitation movies. She did Black Heat with Timothy Brown and Black Shampoo with John Daniels. But the funny thing about it is, as beautiful and as lovely as Tanya Boyd is, she was uncredited. Her role she isn't even mentioned in the credits. So I don't know if, she didn't want her name attached to the movie or what. But who knows? And then weirdly enough, or oddly enough, wherever you want to say it, is this guy, baseball player Tito Fuentes, was also in the movie, guest starring as himself. His role had no bearing in the plot of the movie at all. I think it was just a way to say he was in there, maybe use that as star power to draw people in. But I did do a little bit more research, and it turns out, I guess Tito was a friend of Sal's, and that's how, maybe he got in the movie as well. So if I had to give you an overview of the movie in and of itself, excuse me, like I said, it starts off, there's this prince in this unnamed Middle Eastern country saying that, he wants to take over. So he's got to kill the king, which is his uncle, and his cousin, which is the princess. So then the king and the princess are at this oil field checking out, talking about the oil reserves with Solomon's brother, Manny, still over in this unnamed Middle Eastern country. When they're ambushed, they start getting shot at, but they get away. Manny and the princess escape to the US, and the prince the guy who wants to take over, he has like a CIA agent on the take. So he calls him and says, hey, take out Solomon King and kill the princess. So they try to take Solomon out, fail at that. But they do hire a hitman to kill the princess. And, that's really what sets Solomon off. So once the princess is killed, Solomon and Manny, let's go back to get Tito off of there, go back to Solomon. Solomon and Manny, they track down the hitman and kill him. And then ultimately, where it ends is Solomon and his entire crew head over to that Middle Eastern country and wind up killing the prince. So that's the movie in a nutshell. But